Journey Home, Chapter 20. This is the last of them. Samuel held out the bag of marshmallows along with 3 willow sticks. Peter took a stick and threaded a marshmallow. The night was chilly. The fire had died to embers. It was a perfect time for them. Watching it brown, he was struck by a memory. For his 8th birthday, his dad had taken him camping, and he had allowed him to bring PAX. The weekend had been great, but the last night, sitting around a fire, Peter had made a mistake. He laid a marshmallow down to cool beside him, and PAX had snatched it up. Peter had wrapped the young fox's burnt snout in a wet t-shirt quickly, but afterward he felt so terrible that he told his father that he didn't deserve to have a pet. "Well, that's not how I see it," his father had answered. He pointed at PAX, sleeping on Peter's lap. "And I don't think that's how your fox sees it either. See, I think it's just the opposite. An accident happened, and you jumped up and took care of your pet. You were responsible. That's how I see it. Maybe your fox just knew that when he was hurt, you made it better." At 8, it had seemed a shocking insight that a single act could be viewed different ways, and Peter had fallen asleep pondering it. Actually, even at nearly 14, it still seemed kind of a magic trick. Beside him, Samuel stood up and broke Peter's reverie. He handed out 3 pairs of boots that had been drying by the fire. "We should get some sleep. We have to leave before dawn tomorrow." Peter tugged on his boots. "How come?" "The first crew of water warriors will be setting out from the reservoir tomorrow. We've got a lot of ground to cover in the next few days to make it to the next site before they get there. We should turn in early." "I'll be glad to go," Jade said, although she didn't make a move to get up. "This is the place, Peter. That pond I told you about, it's just west of here. I don't like remembering about those raccoons." She checked her boots, then placed them back to the coals. Still wet. She shivered, and Peter thought maybe she was imagining what might have happened to the raccoon babies, but that wasn't it. She leaned over her feet and squeezed her toes. "They're always cold," she lamented. "And look at these army-issue socks. Give me some real wool." Samuel laughed in agreement. True, always cold. But Peter grew still. He pulled his marshmallow from the fire and set it aside. Another memory stabbed him. When he was little, his mother used to read to him in bed. Peter curled on his side to see the illustrations. Halfway through the story, she would inch her bare feet under his knees, saying, "Icicles! Brrr!" And it was true. Her feet were cold, but Peter always held his knees over them, and she always made a big deal of marveling at how warm they were, and he always glowed with little boy pride. For a minute, he imagined offering his knees to Jade. He would do it with no big deal shrug, because it would just be an act of kindness, and who would understand kindness more than this girl? It would be okay. But no, maybe it wouldn't be okay. The sensation of another body touching his, even through cold clothing. Sometimes Vola would brush her shoulder or rest her hand over his when she was showing him how to use a tool, and even it had broken something inside him, and he couldn't tell whether that was a good thing or not. Just then, Jade stretched a leg out, tapped her toes on his hip. "Icicles! Brrr!" she laughed. Peter felt his throat tightened. He locked his chin, squeezed his lids against the tears, turned his face away. "I'm tired," he said. "I'll unpack the bedrolls." He rose, but Jade jumped to her feet and stayed him with a hand to his wrist. "I'm sorry, whatever it was I said." Peter scrubbed a palm across his eye. "It's the smoke. You didn't say anything wrong. And I'm tired is all. A lot of hiking today." "Sure, I'm still sorry. It's just that you're a very serious boy. I guess I want to see you laugh. Go get some sleep." Peter made his escape. He washed up and then spread out a bedroll, choosing a spot on the far side of the fire on a hard, flat stretch of rock covering in lichen. He removed the box holding his father's ashes from his pack. He set it carefully at the pillow end and tucked his sweatshirt around it. Then he crawled in, turned his back to the fire, and zipped up the bedroll all the way.